What's up, guys? I'm doing another video, and today we're doing another one of those talking videos. And as some of you may know, or if you're new to the channel, I'll just tell you, this is my 1992 Toyota Paseo. I bought for $700, put a head gasket in, and then spent about 5 times what I paid for the car. And it is now a fantastic daily driver, and I've daily driven it for a while now. Well, for about a few months now, and everything's been perfect. Except now I'm afraid to daily drive it because I got pulled over yesterday, or I got pulled over a few days back for speeding. Okay, so as you know, and this is going to be like one of the last times that this comes up. I swear to God, I know it comes up every video, and I wish it wouldn't, but it keeps continuing to come up. So anyway, as you know, I wrecked my dad's XRS, and I got a ticket for speeding, or I can't remember. I don't know. It's one person said speeding, the other person said inability to control vehicle. I told you in the last video that it was inability to control vehicle, but apparently it was speeding. I don't know. Anyway, I got a ticket, and that means that I have points on my license that I will have taken off when I go do my traffic school. But what that also means is that because I have a ticket, and because I had an accident, insurance went up for me, obviously, and that also means that I cannot have another ticket. Like, literally will not be able to drive if I get another ticket because insurance will kill me. Now, so let me just fill you in. I've been 100% like so careful to not ever do anything wrong. Like, I've been doing exactly the speed limit. I've been so stupidly careful to not, cause any sort of issue. So I'm coming down a road, and it's a 35-mile-an-hour road, and I start to slow down, and this road's covered in dips and washes and all that stuff, and this car's about 3 inches off the ground because it has coilovers, and the catalytic converter is about that far from the pavement. So every time there's a little dip, I slow down. Well, I'm coming through a dip, and I slow down to about 15 miles an hour because it's relatively sharp at the bottom, and then it's relatively sharp at the top because it's like an asphalt road, and then it goes to a concrete part because that gets water all over it frequently, so it's better to have it as a concrete portion. Anyway, so there's a separation that makes it kind of a sharp edge at the top. So I slow down to like 15 so I don't launch this car into the air and also bottom my suspension out. And this SUV's passing me as I'm like going over this hill, and then out of the corner of my eye, I see it flip a U-turn, and I'm like, wait a minute. And I look in the rearview mirror, and in the rearview mirror, and this is 8 o'clock at night, this is dark outside, in the rearview mirror, I see the gold on the door from the sheriff badge, and I'm like, is he coming after me? What did I do? I didn't do anything. So I start freaking out, and of course, I'm all over the place. My mind's going crazy and everything. And he hauls up behind me. Like, he had to flip a U-turn. So by this point, I'm doing 35. By this point, I'm up a decent amount of ways. He has to flip this Tahoe around on a little 2-lane road. So he's a little far back behind me, but he mats it, and he's just right up on me so fast. Flips the spotlight on. I can't see anything because he's got his spotlight on, and he's just pacing behind me. And I'm like, I better be careful. I put it to 32 on my speedometer. I put it to 32, and he's just pacing behind me. And I get down to the end of the road where there's a 4-way intersection. Get to the end of the road, and right before the stop sign, and I'm sitting there just like losing it the entire time because I don't know if he's pulling me over or not, or if he's just running my plate because he's bored or whatever. And I get to the 4-way intersection, lights come on, I'm like, oh. Pull over, and comes up to the window, license, registration, insurance. I'm like, yes, sir. Grab it out of the glove box, hand it to him. Hand him the wrong one. He's like, these are expired. I'm like, whoops. Rip my glove box out of the dash, practically. I take everything out of it and just throw it in my passenger seat. I'm like, digging through it, finding my registration. I get the right registration, the right insurance that isn't expired. Hand it to him, and he goes back to his car for about 10 minutes, and I'm sitting there just going, don't give me a ticket, don't give me a ticket, don't give me a ticket, please. And he's never told me what I've done wrong here. And he comes up to the window and he says, so you know why I pulled you over? And I said, no, sir, I don't. you're doing 47 and a 35. I was like, excuse me? 47 and a 35. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. So he says 47 and a 35, and I'm just thinking, wait a minute, so there's no way. That road's covered in dips and washes and everything. Even if I like just didn't care and wanted this speed, this car would hit the ground every 5 seconds. So I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? By the way, for those of you who are like, oh, it looks high off the ground, if you go under there, my catalytic converter is like super low. But anyway, like I barely clear some driveways with the thing. But anyway, he says 47 and 35, and I tell him, because I'm not going to argue with him. If that's what he says, that's what he's going to write you up for if he is. So it doesn't matter what you're going to say. So I figured my best thing is to just agree and apologize. So I tell him, I'm like, and like I said, I know I didn't do it, but whatever. And I'll admit when I'm wrong, just like I did when I crashed the XRS, just like I told the cops everything that I did, and you know. So I'll admit when I was wrong. This time I wasn't. And he goes, and I tell him, I say, well, I'm really sorry. I had no clue. I said, I had my speedometer on 35, but maybe the speedometer's off because it has different wheels on it or something like that. And I told him, I said, about 3 weeks ago, I got a ticket because I wrecked my dad's car, and I can't have another ticket because my insurance will go up and I won't be able to drive and I won't be able to go to college. And he goes, okay, well, let me go back to the car real quick and I'll get back with you in a minute. I'm like, all right. He goes back to the car again. I don't know for what. He's already run my registration, and he's already handed me back my registration and insurance. He goes back there again. I still don't have my license back, though. He goes back there again. Okay, and can you roll the window up for me about halfway? And I'm like, okay, sure. Roll the window up about halfway, so, you know, I put it about, right? Put it maybe right there. And he sticks a little thing on it, and at first I'm thinking it's the little breathalyzer, like alcohol to, you know, how much have you had to drink tonight, sir? And I'm just thinking, whatever, man, you can test me for anything, I'm going to come up 100% clean. And he puts the thing on the window, and I realize it says tintometer, and I swear to God it said tintometer, no lie. And it comes up 32, I think. So, and I believe the darkest it can be in Arizona is like a 30, which I think it's a 30 to like a 100. So for 100 rays of sun that hit the window, 30 of them pass through or so. I don't know. Anyway, it comes up 32 and I'm like, thank God, I think it's legal. And he says, okay, goes back to the car, comes back and he's like, hey, can we check your lights real quick? And I'm like, okay. So he goes to the front and he's like, he checks my headlights, my markers, my turn signals, checks my license plate lights. But he checks all the lights and he realizes all my lights are functioning. Okay, goes back to the car again, comes back up and says, okay, here's your warning, have a nice day. And I'm like, thank God I got a warning, because this entire time I have no clue if I'm getting a ticket, a warning, you know, you're getting arrested. I'm sure the arrested part wasn't going to happen, but I'm just freaking out. So, but in conclusion, here's what I think, and you can say that I'm wrong, you can say I'm right, you know, whatever. Here's my conclusion. It's getting towards the end of the month, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I've heard that quotas are a thing. I don't know. So maybe they needed to, you know, fulfill a quota or something like that, because since it's the end of the month, or it's because it's a red sports car with a spoiler that's factory, a factory spoiler and black wheels and lowered, modified, and exhaust and everything like that. So, you know, I'm thinking that maybe it was just the stereotypical thing, which at the same time I wonder in night you would notice it's a sports car, but I don't know, you know, a million things could have pulled me, or he was just bored. I have no clue. But anyway, I got pulled over in this. That's not the first time. I haven't been pulled over by the police before, but every time where I live, I'm kind of close to the Mexico border, so there's a border patrol checkpoint about 15 miles north from here. And I have to go through it at least like 2 or 3 times a week. So I go through it, and no fail. Every time I take this car through there, I'm pulled into secondary for 45 minutes, and they search the car. The dog is never alerted. Like, I've never had the dog sit down or bark at it or anything. He just is interested in like sniffing it for like a little bit. all the way through the line, and then they tell me to go into secondary. So I don't know. And you're gonna say, well, someone did something in this car. Yeah, I'm sure they did. And I actually know the previous owner, and I have to say, I don't think he would do anything in this car like that. I don't think he would have done anything like that. He had the car for like 3,000. He put like 3,000 miles on the car, and the time he owned it, he had it for like a year, I think. So anyway, yeah, it gets pulled in the secondary all the time, and I guess it's a cot magnet because it's a red sports car. I don't know. So anyway, in conclusion, like I said, when I crashed the XRS, I didn't know if I was going to get into college. Apparently, I could take driving school to alleviate that points on my license, which means I can, in fact, get into college. What I won't be able to get in college is if I get another ticket. So, this car is pretty much, I'm up to here with it, and I'm really thinking about selling it, and that's quite unfortunate, but like, this is my daily driver, and I need this car to be, you know, a good, like, yeah, I have the Scion, I have the Tercel, but, you know, this is a car that I bought, I put money into, you know, and I use it, everything, and I need to be able to drive it and not fear that I'll get pulled over in secondary at the checkpoint, or get pulled over by a cop because, you know, reasons. And like I said, I've never been pulled over by the cops before except for that one time, so I'm not too concerned about that. I'm concerned about the checkpoint thing, which, like I said, I go through all the time. And I'm afraid to take this car through because I know that I'll get pulled over for 45 minutes and they'll be searching and searching and searching, and they won't find jack squat because I pulled this entire car apart and I know that there's nothing in the car. So I don't know what, you know, I don't know what is there, or what smells, or, you know, whatever is making the dog alert or send a hint, or, you know, whatever's making them pull in the secondary, but I know I can't have that. And whereas it sounds like a completely stupid thing to sell a car for, I'm not going to risk not going to college for it. I'm not going to risk other things because of it that I don't know if I want to share yet. You know, I have a personal life, as anyone does, and I'm not sure if I really want to go into details about it. But anyway, you know, and I don't want this to affect that too, so, because it can in a way that I'm not going to get into again. But long story short, I'm going to take everything out of this car, like not the interior, but just every like item that's in this car, and I'm going to get one of those little like canister things, with the air freshener canisters, and pull the top off, set it in the center console, and just light a bomb of, you know, new car smell off in this thing, and for like an hour, let it air out another like 2 hours or whatever, and then I'm going to take it through the checkpoint. And if I get pulled over again, I'm going to be selling the car, and it's quite unfortunate now because these cars are quite, you know, they're quite rare, and no one really knows what they are. No one has any sort of interest in owning one. You have to know what they are, and you have to like them to want one. And that pretty much means to me that even though this is what I would say is one of the cleanest, nicest Paseos in existence, I'm lucky if I'll get $2,500 for it. And I won't take a penny less than $2,500. And I know that I sound like those, you know, stereotypical, like, post the car on Facebook with no engine, and it's like, yeah, 4,000 firm because I know what I got. Okay, yeah, I know what I got. I know it's a Paseo, it's undesirable, and I know all that. But I need at least $2,500 for this car so that I can buy another car. And what can $2,500 buy you? Another Tercel, another Paseo, an old Corolla. Except I already own an old Tercel, I've owned an old Paseo, and I own that old Corolla right there. So what's there to buy? Thinking a V8 rear-wheel drive powered thing. Now, those of you who know me personally already know what I'm talking about, but I'm not going to reveal that yet. Let's see if you guys can figure it out. For $2,500, I can buy a V8 rear-wheel drive powered Toyota affiliate car. Shouldn't be that difficult to figure out. So, anyway, guys, that's my wrap on this subject. Yes, I was pulled over. I've been pulled over several times at the checkpoint because of this car, and I'm afraid to drive it now. And if I get pulled over again, I know it sounds stupid, but I'm going to have to let it go, and it's going to kill me to do it, but that's just how it is. So, anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, and if you didn't enjoy, dislike it and tell me how I can improve. Consider hitting that subscribe button and comment any questions or, you know, any video topics or anything. Comment anything. I don't care. Yeah. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Have a nice day. Bye.